Awesome. How good has NFT.NYC been? I mean, hope you all are, not as hungover as I am. So, with all the parties, and wow, this is such a big turn up. Fantastic. I came all the way from Melbourne, Australia, so a very long way for a 10-minute talk. Now, I'm actually going to be talking about the consumer consumption journey of non-fungible tokens, and this is actually a PhD thesis, so I'm possibly one of the very first people doing a PhD on NFTs. But these are different slides, that's great. Anyway, okay, so a little bit about me. So I'm known as Captain James.ETH online. I have been a university academic. I'm also a filmmaker. I was a flipper and moderator on many different Discord channels, and I'm a business developer for NovaDAO, and I've also founded quite a few number of NFT books and also films. But we hear the term thesis a lot on Twitter, right? People come up and say, this is my thesis. But in reality, a thesis is, something that's a rigorous process to get selected. You have to actually find a gap in literature and provide to the pool of existing academic resources. And it also has a detailed methodology, and it's generally a 200-page document that has, set into chapters. The biggest thing is the research contribution that the PhD is able to have that is given by the people that we interview. So we generally interview sometimes 30 people or more, and we document all that. I'll talk a bit about the methodology later. Okay, so this was my research question, and basically over the course of the last 2 years of doing it, this may actually change a little bit as we go into more data collection, and as I've put in a series of ways that the research will help inform the data. Okay, so what my research had to do first was go back to the history of possessions, go back to the dawn of mankind, from when we initially had attachment to weapons or even shelter. Then we had the agriculture society, where we had farms that actually were almost like virtual communities that were self-fulfilling. From here, the Industrial Revolution showed us that an advancement through the use of the steam engine and so on, with the textile industry experiencing massive reductions in time. Now, that is a key takeaway of the Industrial Revolution. It's making things simpler for people to do. It's a massive disruption, and I feel that NFT technology allows us to instantly mint or instantly transfer digital assets. Now, with the rise of the internet in the 2000s, the digital asset had not yet existed. And this is where the fourth industrial revolution came, and where we are today with the rise of the blockchain in Web3. Okay, so some of the theories that I've actually informed my literature is Roger's diffusion of innovation. Basically, this is a theory that documents how hard it is for new technologies to break through all the communication aspects towards getting into mainstream. And the main underlying theory is the consumer culture theory, which actually looks at cultures and subcultures from pre-purchase, acquisition, possession, and disposal. But I'm not going to bother too much on the underlying theories for a non-academic crowd. So we have two understandings here, is that we have digital items which existed in games as currency, which existed as artifacts or even weapons within games, or something that is locked to a realm. This is not a financial store of value. That is a digital asset. And I really do believe that prior to the blockchain, that digital assets did not exist. They were called digital items. And that's one of the things in my thesis that I'm really trying hard to document and push through. Okay, so NFT use cases. I wanted to talk about how companies can, and this is one of the things, is that my PhD will help company adoption through the use of identifying ticketing and voucher systems. So the use of NFT burn mechanics, for instance, will help to be able to, if we want to eliminate vouchers and paper, we can use the burn mechanic to burn out the NFT in our wallet, and thus we may be able to get a coffee. For ticketing, it can reinvent how we go to sports events, for instance. And I really do think sporting events should be moving away from generative art drops and more towards implementing ticketing with NFTs, which some side events here have actually done very, very well. Memberships. At the moment, I actually can't sell, like if I have a gym membership, I actually can't sell it, but I can if it was an NFT and I had to go interstate, I could get rid of it. An interesting topic came up in Amsterdam for medical data as NFT, and also we have non-tradable tokens, which are soul-bound NFTs, something that's new that's coming out. And for those that don't know, these are actually NFTs that are locked to your digital wallet and cannot be traded. Now, this is something that I think governments and institutions will use a lot, but also I think it potentially change the e-commerce society by offering a very cheaper entry point for organizations to give people a non-tradable asset. Now, in the terms of entertainment industry, we can also see this in terms of books and music and films. And as a filmmaker, I think that NFT technology really does invigorate and create this massive disruption of eliminating a third-party source. So the methodology is going to be a qualitative study between 25 to 35 people that are going to be in-depthly interviewed. Now, these people are going to be pre-existing trading on NFT traders through Discord or virtual communities within the age of 18 to 65. They'll all be recorded via Zoom, and then I'll be basically compiling all the information that is given between these interviews into NVivo, which is a software used at the university level. And then from this information, there'll technically be a part 2 that will come from here. So I just also wanted to talk a little bit about the history of NFTs here. Now, I do apologize, these slides are different than the ones that I actually re-uploaded, so there's a bit of a gap there, but I've got a bit of time and I thought I'd talk about when they started. So NFTs actually started in 2011 through BitDomains, and BitDomains actually found that people trading a decentralized web domain similar to GoDaddy domains, and these people traded them between each other in a decentralized manner. Now, from there, we had colorful coins come out in 2012, 2013, and then we saw the rise of the rare peppies. Now, the rare peppies were created on Counterparty, and these saw a massive interest from people coming in to find the rarity of these rare peppies, and that showed massive interest. From here, we saw the rise of the Ethereum blockchain created because of the code of Bitcoin being very restrictive. Through this, we had the CryptoPunks, we had the CryptoKitties, and then we had a bit of a crash in 2018, and the rise again from the Bored Ape Yacht Club that came after that. And now we seem to be in another building era. Now, there's probably not going to be enough time for questions, but I do want to leave everyone with something that came out of the ETH conference in Amsterdam. And I actually got the opportunity to meet the smart contract developers of NFT, Open Zappellum contract, which many people here have probably interacted with and many people here have probably associated with. Now, I actually sat next to the guy who developed it, and he actually told me that he feels that art may in fact be the worst use case for NFT technology, and that we should be pushing through and finding other avenues. We shouldn't be talking about price, we should be looking at ways to implement this technology to benefit entertainment mediums, to benefit sporting services, and benefit other things. So anyway, that's all I've got to say, but thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I'll be outside.